What is the ideal gold to silver ratio to have in their portfolio?
All investors want one-size-fits-all answers, and there aren't any. It depends on the investor. Traditionally, gold bullion it's been a form of insurance, Shay. You have preserved your purchasing power in circumstances where the purchasing power in other savings and investment classes gets degraded. So you would buy gold if you believed that the purchasing power of the Australian dollar was going to decline and the value of your savings products, your super, your bank deposits, your bonds was going to decrease. Silver has traditionally been something different. Silver has been more of an investment or a speculation than an insurance product. And if you observe the last two precious metals bull markets that I've lived through, 1970 to 1981, 2000 to 2011, what you will note, among other things, is that those bull markets are led by gold because the fear buyers first. But leadership changes in the middle of those bull markets when the momentum established by gold puts the value of the narrative firmly in the generalist mind. Then silver starts to move. It moves both because its lower unit value allows poorer participants, as an example, the Indian peasantry, poor people in China, to participate where they couldn't afford to buy a meaningful amount of gold. They can't afford to buy a meaningful amount of silver. But it also happens because silver is traditionally more volatile. And people who are buying for one of the two primary investment motivations, the two are, of course, greed and fear. People who are buying from a greed point of view love the upside volatility in the silver market that occurs in the second half of precious metals bull markets. So the answer really depends on who you are. And I must admit, I'm of mixed minds. I believe that the set of circumstances that we see in front of us in the world today should cause anybody who is competent in arithmetic to be concerned about the purchasing power of their savings denominated in fiat currencies, be it the Australian dollar or the US dollar. So I'm attracted to gold. I'm attracted to gold stocks because, ironically, nobody likes them. And I always feel comfortable when I'm alone. But I like them too because in the way that I value them, which is the net present value of future cash flows at today's commodity prices. That is to say, net present value relative to enterprise value, the market capitalization plus debt minus cash. These companies at current commodity prices, their cash flows are the cheapest that they've been in my career. So I think that the commodity is going to go up, and I think the commodity prices, producers are cheap. This is a wonderful circumstance for me. I find myself actually in the position where I own a reasonable amount of gold, a reasonable amount of gold stocks, and I'm hoping the price goes lower because I'd like to buy more. And if there's an asset that you want, you'd like to see it cheaper as opposed to more expensive. That gets me an awful lot of hate in the comments on shows like yours. But I've always felt that the idea that something that I wanted to buy more of was becoming cheaper was a good thing. I have the courage of my convictions. Moving on to silver, Shay, I'm at the point in my career where I don't actually need to speculate, but I can't help myself. What I have seen is that the most volatile asset class in the natural resources space, with the possible exception of junior uraniums, but the most consistently volatile are silver equities, because there isn't enough market capitalization in the legitimate silver equity space to handle the capital that comes into them during precious metals bull markets. I've had numerous experiences with this in my career. Silver Standard from 72 cents to $45. Pan American, 50 cents to $40. Going back before I was cognizant of it in my first bull market, Coeur d'Alene from 10 cents to $65. The upside that you see in the silver equities when the silver market catches on fire is really, truly odd. So despite the fact that I don't need to speculate, given that this may be the last precious metal super cycle of my career, I just can't not participate in the silver equities. And the fact that they're dead, the fact that not only do they bore people, but that people hate them is particularly attractive. You may remember earlier in the year, the so-called silver squeeze.
Yes.
And I must say, I was surprised by the strength of it. I was surprised that we didn't just run out of retail product at ABC or places like that. For a while, all those young folks on Twitter actually bought so much silver that even Sprott had trouble getting institutional quantities of silver. We actually did have a legitimate, albeit short-term, silver squeeze.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race. You're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Marco Stan, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Marco Stan.